This case examines Taco Bell's re-entry into the UAE. We would like to introduce our bottom line recommendation and then take you through a brief summary of some of the key issues and recommended strategies to ensure greater success for a Taco Bell relaunch in the UAE. Our group is aligned that Taco Bell should pursue a cautious re-entry into the UAE fast food market, focusing on cultural adaptation, sustainable practices, and localized strategies to overcome past failures and current market challenges. Our main recommendations for strategy are to adapt the menu by introducing halal-friendly options, start with a soft launch via a delivery-first model, and shift marketing to focus on family and collectivist values. In section 2, we'll be reviewing the cage comparator and cage mapping models. Of note, we use the SPX1 as the indicator, which represents the other services export category. We can see the results at the bottom of the slide. The UAE ranked 136 for geographical distance versus 177 for the cage distance. This indicates that even though the physical barriers including transportation and shipping are substantial, the cultural, administrative, and economic differences make this market even more challenging for U.S. businesses. Moving on to the next slide, we can see the cage maps show the region and regional blocks of the world resized according to the amount of exports flowing into that country from the U.S.
The fast food landscape in the UAE is a heavily saturated market with an expected growth rate of 12.2% between now and 2033. This growth can be attributed to an increase in population as well as a significant tourism population, more available disposable income, and a shift in dining preferences. Due to the level of competition for consumer dollars, restaurants have engaged in price wars, resulting in compressed profit margins. As the UAE is home to a large Muslim population, restaurants are finding that halal certification is necessary to attract buyers. This certification comes with strict guidelines on how products are obtained, processed, and prepared, which is an added expense for consideration. Finally, the age of digital transformation has changed how customers get their meals, and get rewarded for their loyalty through the use of artificial intelligence. Taco Bell currently has over 8,500 restaurants, with 1,100 of those being international locations. The company has focused their target market segmentation on the young, vibrant population of cultural rebels that enjoys convenience, fun, and late nights. They have created a digital footprint that resonates with consumers by engaging with followers on social media sites, as well as implementing AI-supported services. Previous attempts to expand into Mexico, the UAE, and continuing struggles to maintain a foothold in Australia beg the question, what is behind the struggles? Signs point to pricing concerns compared to wages, a lack of customizations for local flavors and preferences, as well as Latin food not being as popular globally, leading to a lack of knowledge and interest. The fishbone diagram provides an overview of potential root causes for Taco Bell's unsuccessful attempted entry into the UAE by looking at what may have been problematic in the areas of product, price, place, promotion, people, process, physical evidence, and performance.
Here we have Gimawatt's AAA framework, which consists of aggregation, adaptation, and arbitrage. We can see here a comparison of the stores that were opened in the UAE versus Kuwait. In summary, the aggregation strategies were similar in both Kuwait and the UAE, but the adoption strategy was stronger in Kuwait due to the increased menu adaptations and local marketing campaign. Kuwait had an additional advantage tied to its arbitrage strategy due to lower labor and real estate costs. Taco Bell's exit from the UAE market does not point to the entry being an unwise decision. Their exit was likely due to a faulty execution and adaptation, which could have been prevented with more research, adaptation, and cultural awareness. We can see on the left some advantages that Taco Bell had in entering the UAE market, and we can see challenges on the right-hand side.
With regards to Taco Bell re-entering the UAE market, the UAE market, fast food market has been growing steadily, fueled by a young urban population with high disposable income. And in order to do this, they can focus on younger consumers, adapt by understanding the culture, and soft launching pop-ups and delivery systems. By looking at each cultural dimension side by side, with regards to Hofstede and Hall, we can see that Hofstede has three dimensions that can be related to Taco Bell's reentry. That is power distance, uncertainty avoidance, and individualism versus collectivism. As we can see on this chart, with regards to power distance, the UAE scores very high, showing a strong respect for hierarchy and authority. We can also see, with regards to uncertainty avoidance, that the UAE shows high uncertainty avoidance as people tend to prefer structure, rules, and clarity. Lastly, we can see that, with regards to the individualism column, the UAE leans more collectivist, emphasizing family, community, and group loyalty. Additionally, in correlation with Hall's cultural dimensions, the UAE is considered a high context culture because their communication relies heavily on relationships. To reinforce this, Hall would likely recommend that Taco Bell's marketing campaign remain subtle and visually oriented to respect cultural expectations. For example, they should avoid creating a marketing advertisement that is too direct or focused only on the food. Instead, they should try to display visuals, as the visual we see on the bottom left corner, with few words that focus on interactions created by eating at Taco Bell rather than the food itself. With regards to other options for Taco Bell, they could possibly shift their focus to other markets on the Gulf. They can expand into neighboring countries like Saudi Arabia and Qatar, which have similar cultural environments. They could also form partnerships with local franchises to decrease risks of mismanagement and increase credibility as a result. Lastly, they can try to adopt a strategy focused on delivering meals. They could grab the attention of many popular food delivery platforms such as Uber Eats or DoorDash that would allow Taco Bell to attract consumers who are more comfortable with technology. Currently, Taco Bell is making their packaging recyclable and has been improving the sustainability of its supply chain in response to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal number 12. They can continue supporting this goal with their attempts at trying to reduce waste, improve resource efficiency, and promote sustainable practices. As a recommendation, Taco Bell can continue to try and introduce plant-based products to their menu, which will result in a more sustainable menu and an increase in popularity amongst the environmentally conscious consumers in the UAE.
The SWOT helps us evaluate Taco Bell's internal strengths and weaknesses, as well as external opportunities and threats it faces in this region. Starting with strengths, Taco Bell has a global recognition as a part of Yum Brands, which provides credibility and resources. I feel like that was the very most important strength. On the weaknesses side, Taco Bell's global presence is actually smaller compared to its competitors like McDonald's or KFC, which has less international brand loyalty. For opportunity, the UAE fast food market is projected to grow by more than 12% through 2033, which is a major opening for Taco Bell. And lastly, for the threats, the UAE fast food industry is very saturated with over 15,000 outlets, with heavyweights like McDonald's and KFC that have been operating for decades, building a stronger brand loyalty. So, in summary, this SWOT shows that Taco Bell faces significant threats and weaknesses. It also has real opportunities, and it leverages in its brand strengths, adapts to its menu and digital performance strategically. With the right approach, re-entry into the UAE could not only succeed, but also align with Taco Bell's long-term strategic goals of global expansion, innovation, and sustainability. And these are our citations.